Hi, I'm alive. I don't know if I am live. I am just guessing, wildly guessing that we are live. So if you have got the luxury of hanging about on Facebook at 10 o'clock on a Friday morning, give me a wee hashtag live in those comments. Sorry, I'm putting my wee light thing on to try and make me look more alive. And if you're not with me live, that's cool. If you're catching me on replay, which I imagine most people will have to be because it's 10 o'clock on a Friday morning and most people have got other things on, then give me a wee hashtag replay. And I'm just going to check on the Facebook app to see if this is streaming. Because sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Oh yeah, we are live. Hi. There we go. Oh, Berlos here. Hi. Oh, there's Berlos there. There's a disconnect here with the timelines. Right. So I have got an hour with you this morning, and I'm going to go through some high level views and some tactical things that we can do to help stay motivated or be motivated when we can't be arsed or we're not feeling motivated. Which I want you to all recognize that it's normal. You're not going to feel like yeah all the time. That's not life. Like nobody is like that, no matter what they tell you. They're not. Everybody has shitty days. Everybody has hormonal days. Everybody has tired days. Everybody has days where the cat shits in the carpet and the child pours the Reed diffuser oil all over his brand new £50 taekwondo suit, which happened to me yesterday. Like that. Are you fucking kidding? I didn't swear. Don't swear at my child. Internally, I was going, are you fucking kidding? So yeah, I just want you to first of all know that nobody expects you to always be motivated and always be, swinging from the lights, and that's not life. So, but this is about one of the biggest issues, challenges that you guys probably have all had coming in, and this is one of the biggest challenges that I hear people talking about, is that I just lose motivation and then I just give up. And it's hugely common, but it's fine. It doesn't have to be that way. So if we start with a question thinking about success. Now, hands up, who wants to be successful? Who wants to reach their goals? Chances are most people. And when we're talking about success, I'm not talking about, wealth or like having big jobs or driving nice cars, but success in the sense of who wants to achieve goals, who wants to have all the things that they said they wanted. And this is going to be all about what it is that you want to achieve. And if you want to achieve, I don't know, something huge, absolutely grand, that's your goals, it's fine, no one's going to take that away from you. But when we're talking about success, it's about what do you want to achieve, not what your husband wants you to achieve, or not what I want you to achieve, or not what you think that you should want to achieve. Your deep core reason, what it is that you want to achieve. So the good thing is that with motivation, it's a two-pronged affair. Essentially, we have external motivation, so coming from outside of you, and we have intrinsic motivation, which is a motivation that comes from within. Now, most people are mostly externally driven. So if you think about, I was trying to think of a normal routine that some people would have, like you wake up, your alarm wakes you up, you get up and you get dressed, washed, brushed, whatever it is that you do in the morning, then you go to work, you do the things at work. We go to the supermarket and do some shopping, do the stuff, come home, do the stuff, go to bed. Now, pretty much most of those activities are all driven by external motivation. They are driven by the alarm is driving you to wake up. The getting dressed to go to work is externally driven by the need to go to work and earn money. And then to come home and do the cooking or the cleaning or whatever, it's for a nice house. It's externally driven because you don't want to live in a pigsty, and your family doesn't want to live in a pigsty anyway. And chances are, I would say probably the majority is that it always sits on the women to do these things. And these things have to get done. You know, they have to get done for us to live a happy, peaceful life, almost. But it's easy to do things when they have to get done. It's not so easy to do things where they aren't necessary. So it's not necessary for somebody to get up earlier than their alarm tells them to go for a run or to read a book or to do journaling. And when it's not necessary, that's where it becomes a challenge. But that's where we need to look at, you know, internal motivation, intrinsic motivation. What is it that's going to drive us to do the things that aren't actually necessary to survive? And that's what dips. And that's one of the big challenges is, you know, people go, oh, this losing weight malarkey is really hard. This is boring. I'm missing out on all this stuff. And, you know, that's the external factors are getting to you because you're not doing what everybody else is doing. And it's not necessary for you to eat the vegetables. You know, you could eat the pizza instead of eating the vegetables. And you could do that on repeat and repeat and repeat and gain all the weight. So that's why this is what this session is about, is to be able to try and build on that intrinsic motivation, to rely on you and your drive rather than having to rely on external sources. And for the most part, for a lot of your time here in EMW Academy, there is a lot of external motivation because you have got the accountability from your coach. You are getting drip fed the recommendations that Clara wants you to do. You have got a reminder to do X, Y, and Z. You've got the external motivation of the group. So it's easier. But then when we move away from that environment, we have to look at, okay, how do we do this for ourselves? So I think I've got seven kind of things that we can look at. But I want you to think, like most people, if you think about what people want, what you want, what everybody wants really is, everybody wants to be healthier, everyone wants to be fitter, everyone wants to be stronger, everyone wants to have more energy, everyone wants to have a more passionate life, everybody wants to have more money, more happiness, everybody wants more abundance, like better marriages and better sex life and all that stuff. But they're the areas that people struggle with the most to be able to get motivation to get those things. And when you think about it, you're like, oh my God, those things are so valuable. Those things are so important. You know, having an active life with people that you love and having connected relationships and being fitter, stronger, healthier. These are all amazing things. But it's really interesting how they are the things that people struggle with the motivation to try and get. But it's because the gap is between the here and now and the aspiration, and the gap sometimes seems huge, and the gap sometimes seems like that's so overwhelming, or that's not for me, that's not for people like me, that's for other people, and that's a bit of that's one of the limiting beliefs that we're actually going to talk about. But there's also that belief, there's also that gap in I can have that. And I'm doing a 5-day challenge just now, and I mentioned this yesterday, and somebody said, oh, I love how down to earth you are and all that. Well, actually I drove past this fucking mansion in Troon earlier, and it's got a pool and it's got a massive gym and grounds, and it's like huge, and I was just like, I'm going to live there one day. And Dale's like, no, you're not, don't be ridiculous. I'm like, that, there's nothing stopping me. You know, it's that when we start believing in bigger things that we never believed in, and that can help drive that journey as well. So think about all the things that you want. Things that might have stopped you getting those things in the past are around belief, what you believe to be true. Okay, so just because we've never had something before, if you've never had an amazing relationship, maybe never had the body of your dreams, the fitness, the energy, it doesn't mean it's not possible. You know, just not because you've not had something before doesn't mean it's not a precursor to never getting it. And thinking like that is a learned behaviour, and we have to practice, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And one of the things I hear as well is I'm just not naturally a motivated person. Like, naturally motivated people have actually had to learn the skill. Naturally motivated people have actually go through practices, and whether they know it or not, it's a nurture thing. And also, you know, people who aren't motivated, on the flip side, that's also nurtured as well. That's an environmental thing as well. So when we start using these skills that I'm going to teach you and use them regularly, You're not going to suddenly wake up and go, that's it, I'm a motivated person. It's not like that. We have to keep building on the skills and keep redoing them. And as I go through these things, you'll be able to see where it's appropriate for you to start practicing it or not practice that and practice something else. So when we start practicing all these skills, we're going to get better and better. And as with everything, it just becomes a learned behaviour, rather than feeling like an effort. Learned behaviour rather than conscious effort. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is excuses. So excuses, I think if I had £1 for every time somebody said, oh, I just don't have the time, or no, if somebody had actually said, I know this sounds like excuses, but it's not, it is. It really, really is. If there's a reason why you're not doing something, then it's a reason which can also be interlinked with the word excuse. So think about language, think about words that you might have said, if you've ever said anything like, what's the point, or I can't, or I really should. These are phrases, these are the thoughts that are stopping you achieving goals. Okay? So I was reading a book a wee while ago, and it was like, think like an explorer. Right? So think like nobody else has the answers. Think like only you can discover the path. It's only you that you're the one with the backpack, with a funny hat, with a stick. I don't know what else explorers have. You're the explorer. Think like an explorer, that you must do something. You must get to this undiscovered land. You must do it because there is no other option. And when we start thinking like that starts getting us out of our comfort zone, first of all. But we start thinking differently. We start thinking less risk adverse. Because when we say things like, what's the point, or I can't, or I really should, that is comfort zone. That is all like, oh, well, that's just giving me permission to stay exactly where I am. So get the explorer head on and think like, okay, this must happen. I must do this. And when we turn our shoulds into musts, you become a little bit more driven. So yes, so going down that explorer route and going, there is no alternative. I have to do this. I have to take the risk. I have to get out of my comfort zone, because the alternative is bleh, meh, whatever, where you are now or where you have been. So I think that for most of you guys, you've already done that. You've already got out of your comfort zone by joining us here. Because a lot of you were very nervous. A lot of you felt it was a very big risk financially, and like, oh my god, da da da. What if I fail? What if it's not for me? But if we always think like that, that's, if you put your energy towards the, oh well, what's the point, and I'm always going to fail anyway, that's ultimately what is going to happen. But if you turn that energy into, I will succeed, yep, there is no alternative, then that's what will happen. You will succeed, because that's where the focus is and that's where the energy goes. So the key thing here is about, progress, not perfection. Taking action is progress regardless whether it works or not, because you're taking steps towards something different. And instead of, this is another tip with using the language, oh, I feel like such a failure because X, Y, and Z. That's not like being a failure. That's just a learning. That's just an episode of learning. And you're never going to get through to your goals or life with just this happy upward journey. There's always going to be dips and troughs. And if we come to expect them and we start dealing with them, overcoming them, learning from them, then you're better equipped for what comes next, or whatever the next step is. So that's actually a good one about the failure. Replacing the word with, it's just a learning curve. Now, Sarah Berloff will remember this. Now, Sarah and I used to work together, and we had the same boss, and she was the best manager that I've ever had in my entire life, and her name is Vicky. And she's absolutely legendary. But she used to give us really, really shit things to do. Really, really shit things to do. Like, set us up for failure time and time and time again. But she was like, that's a learning opportunity. So learning opportunity. It'd be really difficult stakeholders, or it'd be a really hard project, or it'd be really, like, ultimately, it's all the shit that she didn't want to do. Um, and but she'd be like, it's a development opportunity. Like, yes, it is. But then next time she gave us a really shit thing, or she had us dealing with, there was this other woman that not I'm not going to name her name, but there was this other woman that worked in the wider team, and nobody wanted to deal with her because she was just batshit crazy. That she was an absolute limbo. She looked a little bit like the old lady from the Goonies. Anyway, anything to do with her, we had to pick up. So anyway, it was all a learning opportunity, and we knew better for the next time, and then we could deal with even worse stakeholders after that. So actually, she gave us skills. But anyway, going off tangent there. So thinking about excuses, right? Excuses are reasons not to progress. It's easy. It's easy to use them. It's easy to not do the things that you need to do. It's easy to stay cozy and warm in the comfort zone. And it's easy to say that you've lost the motivation because it's ultimately an excuse to not do something. And that does sound very, very harsh. But next time you sit yourself down, Sarah Berloff, at the end of the day and going, oh, I'm just not motivated, and go, I'm just using that as an excuse to not do anything. So I knew that would make you laugh. So anyway, it's easy to just say you're not motivated because it means that you don't have to do anything. And there will be times, actually, a few months ago I did a live in this group, and it was about, there's a very fine line between motivation, excuses, and actually giving yourself a break. And it's something that you will learn with time, of going, right, there was an occasion my alarm had gone off and I just could not be fucking out of bed. I was just like, I just cannot do my workout. And I went back to sleep. And that never happens to me normally, I'm wide awake. But that got me thinking, going, there's something not right here. That's not right like me. So the next day I didn't set an alarm and I slept a ridiculous, it was like 10 hours or something. I was like, okay, that is I need to rest my body. I need to have a deload weight from the exercise and take a step back. So it could have been easy for me to say, oh, I'm just not motivated, I'll take a week off. So there's very, very fine lines there. Okay, so that's excuses. Think about what you're saying to yourself. Think about what is happening when you are losing motivation. Okay, journal them out. If you're getting, oh, I'm just not motivated, that's easy to become a habit as well. So be mindful of that. The next one is all about limiting beliefs. Basically, your past. Your backstory. Everybody has one. We've all got baggage. We've all got a history. We're all got 40, 50, 60 years of doing shit a certain way. And what we believe to be true about what we can achieve always comes from our past experiences. So if you think back to things that you were told as a child, or, I was told as a child that, oh, you're going to be really fat when you get old because you've got hollow legs because you used to eat so much. And I've heard girls being put on diets at the age of 7, being told that, you can't be fat, it's disgusting, all these different things. You can't, or even what your parents or your granny might have said to you, you can't lose weight in your 40s, it's just a downhill battle. And, these things, we just accept them because we don't know any different, and that's just how we are. So we have to go on a bit of a journey of self-discovery when we have all these past limiting beliefs. And one of the things is forgiving them, forgiving yourself for believing them, forgiving the people for saying them. But the really cool thing about limiting beliefs is we get to create new beliefs. We get to create, this is not about saying that the earth is flat versus the earth is round, but now you have a whole different lot of information so that you can choose a whole lot of new beliefs. So you can get to change it. So one thing that is very useful here is to grab your trusty notebook and write down all the things that you believe to be true about you, your body, reaching your goals, your weight, whatever it is. People have been told you'll never amount to anything. That's scary shit, man, when you think about it, because that keeps people believing that they're never going to achieve anything. So why even try? It just beggars belief. But anyways, write down all the things that you believe to be true, and then you get to go, yep, I'm sorry, Emma, for believing that doesn't have to be that way. I'm sorry to X and Blue, whoever said it, for you believing that I trusted you, but I don't have to believe that anymore, and I love it. I love you, I love me, but I'm going to change. I'm going to have new beliefs. So write down all your new beliefs. You know, I believe that I am fit and strong and healthy and happy, or whatever it is that you want in your goals, or what it is in your future self. And, you know, create new decisions. Create new decisions. Where do you want to be? If you don't want to believe that anymore, what do you want to believe? And part of this is about recognising your wins, recognising your achievements, however small that they may be. So let me see. So Sarah Berloff, sorry to pick on you, your last one that I saw about sitting down in the evening not being motivated. So for every time you sit down on the sofa and go, no, but you just go, no, you're just giving an excuse to not do anything. I need to get another 500 steps, and you get up and do 500 steps. That's a huge achievement because you're breaking a pattern. So for every, like, I don't really want to focus necessarily on for every pound you lose or anything, but for every time you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, yeah, you're looking good. Or for every time you get out of bed in the morning, you're like, yeah, I've got energy today. Or every time that you get your steps in, or every time that you nail something at work, recognise it. Get yourself a long list of all your achievements, however small they are. And that's, I post every week, you know, what has been your wins this week. It doesn't need to be weight related. It doesn't need to be body related. It can be, I had a spring in my step, somebody looked at me and I smiled at them, I didn't hide away in black baggy clothes. You know, these are all huge wins, and these are all forming our new beliefs about ourselves. So yeah, basically just recognise that the past does make up where you are now, and forgive it and move on and focus your energies on new beliefs. And this is actually something that I've been doing a lot of work on around money and beliefs that I had around money. And it can be applied to absolutely everything, and it's actually hugely interesting. And that was one of the reasons I was, when I said today, I can live in that house. I'm going to live in that house with a massive pool and a gym. I thought, well, why can't I? You know, the people that are living in it, they live in it. So, you know, I'm no better or worse than them. Why can't I? And it's hugely interesting when you go into it. But anyway, recognise your achievements, get them all written down, so that if you ever are feeling like, what's the point? You can open up your little book and you can go, yep, I win. I've got all these lists of really cool fucking things. So yeah, I hope that one's making sense. So then, once we're looking at limiting beliefs, we want to look at overall attitude, positive attitude. Now, positivity, and some of you will go, oh, so fucking woo-woo, Emma. But positive words, positive thoughts bring positive actions, and it's all about the energy and it's all about the focus. So if you are focusing on positive things, you're going to do positive things. If you focus on negativity and negative things, then that's where the energy and the focus goes. So you'll do negative things and you will get negative things. So this is where we want to look at things like positive affirmations, looking at gratitude, looking at self-acceptance ultimately. So affirmations, some people love affirmations, some people hate affirmations. I used to hate affirmations. Now I do affirmations. I do believe that they have changed my life, but not in a fairy godmother cha-ching kind of a way. It's more of a, the self-doubt goes away. You are seeing and hearing these words, and they are part and parcel of the whole being positive most of the time. So yeah, positive affirmations, you can do them daily, nightly, weekly, whatever. You can do it as part of a vision board. You can do it part of your future self. You can do it as part of your gratitude journaling, and I talk about gratitude journaling quite a lot. So that doesn't necessarily have to be a huge big, dear diary, today I'm feeling so happy because of bit, and this makes me feel bit, and da. That's, you know, if you're not flowery with language, if you don't like writing, if you like, I don't hate writing. That's amazing. Sound a bit like an idiot, but I am not. I was never particularly good at essay writing. I was never particularly good at English. I was never particularly good at telling stories. I am very much a spreadsheet kind of a gal. Give me some numbers to work through, I'm fine. So for me, bullet journaling is perfect, and you can use your notebook that you would have got just to do 3 bullets of gratitude every single day, or 3 positive affirmations every single day, so that you are seeing those words and you are thinking those words. So if you want to be a positive action taker, if you want to be motivated all the time, build that in and say, I am consistently motivated to reach my goals. I am internally motivated to do what I want to do. I don't need to rely on external motivation. Blah, blah, blah. All these kind of things. I had one about resiliency, because I'm much better now, partly because of this kind of inner work. But maybe 18 months ago, I can't actually remember, 2 years, 18 months ago, I was experiencing extreme highs. This in business, I was experiencing extreme highs and really, really deep lows. You know, if I got a new client, I'd be like, yeah, we're changing lives, this is amazing, and I've got goals in terms of how many clients I want to bring. I was like, yeah, it's amazing, I'm rocking it, I'm a really good entrepreneur, and I'm really changing lives, and that's amazing. And then 2 weeks later, I wouldn't have had any more clients, and I'd be like that, oh my god, I'm so shit, I can't do this is rubbish. And it was just like that, oh my god, I can't live like this is like, I can't live like that at all. So I had to build in a lot more resiliency. I had to build in more realistic goals, more realistic things about what we can achieve, and it does help. It really does help. And there will be times where you don't feel like the most internally motivated person in the world, but that's okay, because you're learning all the time. You're learning about, you know, what happened that made you not motivated, what happened to get you out of that funk and do it. So when we're looking at our future self, or affirmations, or language that we're using when we're journaling about all this kind of stuff, use things like I attract, you know, I attract good things, or I build good patterns, or I create positive vibes, I am inspiring, or I am worthy, I deserve the hot body, I can move my body well, I can do it, I fuel my body with nutritious food, and things like that, using really positive self-talk language. And when we do that, it's redefining our baselines, it's redefining our new definition of who we actually are, and that takes us from here, maybe, you know, a bit doughty, a bit unsure, to, you know, a few steps up the line, you know, and you just keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that, and before you know it, you know, you are much more rock steady in your attitudes. You will start noticing, one thing that I actually really notice now is when people are negative and they have negative vibes, and I'm just like, how dare you encroach that negativity on me? And I actually removed quite a lot of people from the free group for being overly negative, or making disparaging comments like it's all right for her. No, that's not what we're going to have. And you'll maybe notice it yourself if you look at your colleagues, or when you talk to your colleagues, and they'll say things like, oh, it's so unfair, or, you know, like shit because of this, and you're like, oh, okay, well, what have you done? You know, well, I tried this and that was shit, da, 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 and I tried that and that was shit, da, 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 da. You're like, okay, well, are you actually making steps to do something here? So you'll start notice more negative vibes as you go, and you get more and more repelled by negativity, and be warned, you might actually start winding people up with how positive that you are. Like, I do wind people up with like, I was just shut the fuck up. My husband goes nuts. He's like, oh my god. Oh. So yeah, that can be your new baseline. And when we have a new baseline, again, it's part of that intrinsic motivation foundation. Motivation foundation, that's cool. And that's a good place because that means that we are there rather than having to like keep pulling ourselves up and up and up and up. So the another part, and this won't come as a shock to anyone, so I'm probably not going to spend that much time on it, is about our powerful why. So everybody does their why, and we do 5 layers of why. What do you want to achieve? Da, da, da. Why? Blah, blah, blah. Why? Blah, blah, blah. All the way down, because by the time we get to that 5th why, we normally have the real answer. Some people, it takes a little bit longer. Some people kind of kid themselves on a little bit about what their why is and try and take themselves down another path, but ultimately if you keep asking why, you'll always get to your core why. And when you have identified your core why, it's easier, not saying it's easy, but it's easier to focus. It's easier to get that intrinsic motivation. It's easier to get out of bed when it's dark and you've got a workout to do. It's easier to prep the food, you know. So when we are thinking about our why, there is no limits, there are no rules. You get to have whatever it is that you want. You deserve whatever it is that you want. You're worthy of it. So don't feel like you have to, you know, a lot of people going, oh, well, you know, I'd be all right with a 12. Okay, well, is that your real what you want? Oh, no, I'd love to be I'd love to be a 10 again, but I just don't think, you know, I just don't think. Okay, well, why do you think that way? Well, you know, it's probably not for people like me now, like, oh, blah. Whatever it is that you want is valid, okay? And why you want it is also valid as long as you're digging deep and getting to the true reason why. So if you've not done your 5 whys in the last 6 weeks, do it again. Because our whys often change. You know, we get our why initially might be to rediscover self-confidence. But then we lose 2 dress sizes and we go, yeah, I'm feeling really good. Well, why do I want to continue? Do I want to lose more weight or do I want to maintain this? Why is that so important? And then drill down into those 5 whys again. And that's why it's important to do your SMART goal setting. So, you know, be very specific about what you want. Make sure that you can measure it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be weight loss. It can be, you know, it can be career goals. It could be I want to run a podcast. It could be whatever the hell you want. And then break it down into mini goals so you can really see the progress, because remember, you're not going to reach your goals in the first time. We have to set mini goals so that we can enjoy the progressions and reward ourselves when we do get there as well. So when you are struggling with motivation, and here's an example, you know, you're just like, oh, it's Sunday afternoon, I can't be bothered, I don't want to do this. You're like, okay, well, why should I? What's the point? Why should I? You're like, because actually if I don't, I'm never going to reach that goal and I'm never going to achieve why I wanted to achieve it. You know, whether it's to set a good example for your kids or whether it's for your kids to grow up happy and healthy, whatever, you know, it's easier to have it there. When we are talking about powerful whys and reaching goals, one of the easiest ways to do it is to do it, to take action. Take action. Now, if anybody follows Tony Robbins, all hail Tony! He's a god. Love Tony Robbins. He's got big teeth. Tony Robbins is I think he's more than a motivational speaker, he's a business coach. Big Tony. Anyway, go and Google Big Tony. Sorry, I just dribbled tea. So basically, he identified that people run away from pain rather than run towards pleasure. So this is, I now get this from a gazillion consultations with people where everybody wants to be thinner, everybody wants to be happier, more self-confidence, everybody wants the pleasure, but unless the here and now is painful, nobody will move that way. If everybody's, the people that are just comfortable, yeah, I want to be that, but I'm not really prepared to do much about it, they're not really in that bad a place. So a really good thing to do if you feel the motivation going, if you're losing the vibe, and this isn't something you'll actually ever hear an awful lot of, But a good exercise to do is to identify what's going to happen if you stop. What is going to be the reality if you stop moving towards your goals? You know, it might be you're going to regain any weight that you've lost. It might be that you'll lose self-belief in yourself because you've stopped again, or you've lost confidence because you've stopped again. And sometimes that can be enough. You know, you've come so far. Why go back? Why go back to that place where you were? And sometimes that is enough to go, actually, nope, I'm moving forward. And going back, as a personal example, going back to 2 years ago where I was like, oh my God, I can't do this, I'm all over the place. I did this exercise and going, well, what happens if you just give it all up and go and find a job or go and do something different? It was things like, you know, my big why is creating freedom for myself, creating freedom for my family, to be able to have a lifestyle that we want, to be able to go travel to nice places and see nice things, and, you know, all these kind of things. And I was like, well, if I give it all up and I don't try and aspire to that, then I'm going to be stuck at a wage that is maybe all right, but it's not going to be enough. Like, do I want that? Do I want to be in a position? And it's like, no, hell no, I don't want that. So that gave me you have to take action. You have to take inspired action. So ultimately, doing something, anything at all, is going to help you improve that overall drive, focus, and motivation. So that's why, say for example, this is you get ill. Like, everybody gets ill. Say you get ill for a week, and then you're like, oh my God, I've lost focus. I was doing so well. We always start at the beginning. Always start where you are. So if you're like, oh, I've lost all, like, drink 3 litres of water a day. Just do 10,000 steps a day. That's all. Just start. Start with something small. Start with something achievable. And when you can do it once, you're like, oh yeah, I did that. That wasn't so bad. That didn't kill me. I'll do that again tomorrow. And then 3 days later, you're like, oh yeah, I can do that. It's building your confidence. And then you can go, right, okay, well, I'm maybe going to do a workout now. And I'll do 2 workouts in the next week. Okay, right, now I feel like I've got a handle on that again. I'm going to try tracking my food calories. Let's do that. Let's do that for a week and see how we go on it. You know, take it one step at a time. And if you think about, I think I put this is in the starter pack, but if you think about marginal gains, tiny gains, that is in Atomic Habits, and also Dave Brailsford from Team Sky, doing small things consistently is going to create a big win. If we try and do everything at once, you're going to get a big win, but then you're going to get a big drop, and then ultimately it's going to be too overwhelming and everything just falls by the wayside. So tiny steps, taking action on anything is going to help you move forward, and doing nothing is going to push you back. Okay, so always take action. So Sarah, to use your example again, you know, sitting on the sofa, I've lost motivation, can't do it. Okay, maybe I just need to go and march up and down the stairs twice. Like, you're probably going to have to go up the stairs twice anyway. You've got 2 kids, for Christ's sake. But, yeah, just do something. And doing something then helps you bring back to that foundation that you building all these other steps. Okay? If you've not read Atomic Habits, it is very good. I do enjoy it. And, yeah, I do like a bit of James Clear. Anyway, next up, saboteurs, environment, people, and saboteurs includes you as well. We are our worst own saboteurs, and if you are interested in self-sabotage, I've done a couple of trainings around the guide section, I think. Yeah, there's one about self-sabotage and one about sabotage by others. But we use our own criticism. We are our own worst enemies. We use criticism as an excuse to not do something. So go back to the excuses. Think about the very first thing that I talked about, excuses. So when you get that negative earworm, or that I can't be bothered, or I'll just miss it for today and I'll do it tomorrow, but then you miss it tomorrow, one thing that you can do is just go, ugh, get out of my head. No, that's not me. That's not what I do anymore. Because by not doing something, it's not going to help you move any further forward. Like, and there's that fine line again. Okay, well, is it because I'm knackered and I need to decompress, or I need to focus my energies elsewhere? And then be very, very honest with yourself and ask yourself very hard questions going, okay, am I doing this because I'm being lazy, or am I doing this because I actually do need to decompress and do something different? You know, we have to be honest with ourselves. We're all adults. But yeah, the negativity from you can knock out your head just going, oh, where did that come from? That's not how I think. That's not me. That's not the me in the future self. Oh, go away. And you can also do it internally with people. You can't really do it with other people like shit. I'm going, get that out of my head. But, you know, when somebody says something about, oh, you're no fun anymore, you don't need to be on a diet, you look lovely the way you are, you just go, you know, whatever. Thanks for your feedback. That's amazing. But the new version of you doesn't have to listen to other people if you don't want to. You get to choose who you listen to. You get to choose, and it's amazing. So remember, the new version of you, do you accept saboteurs in your life? Probably not. So ditch them, and if that saboteur is you, ditch that version of you, because I'm sure that's not what it says in your future self. So go back to the goals that you've had and go, listen to this. Does that help me move forward? No? Okay, well, I don't have to listen to it. You can choose. So always remember to keep your environment relevant to your goals. Having a positive environment, having an environment that's got surrounded by healthy foods that are going to help you achieve your goal, and having inspiration round about you, really, really helps. And that's, I touched on that earlier, you know, being in the environment of EMW Academy, everybody is in a really good place, and everybody wants everybody else to succeed, and it's so empowering and it's so incredible, and having that environment is vital. So if you were to just pick yourself up and then move into a really negative environment, if you're not intrinsically motivated, you're going to find it really, really difficult to keep doing what you're doing. So surround yourself by people with the same vibe, with the same energy, and it'll be much easier for you to succeed until you've got that solid intrinsic motivation going on. And it's not uncommon. Like, we've actually had quite a lot of clients that have ditched entire friend groups because they're not serving them anymore. They're like, no, that's not the person that I am anymore, and it was lovely having them when I needed them, but that's not where I am anymore. And I've done it myself. Like Sarah will know a group of friends that were, from a health point of view, not the healthiest. You know, there's a lot of drinking, there was a lot of shitty foods and whatnot, and I see them now and again, but it's not my life anymore, and that's what they still do that, and I don't anymore. So, and it can be really, really hard to do it, and it can be really, really hard to do it when it's actually people that you're very close to, like family. You know, we have people that have had to very, I don't want to say sad, but really in-depth conversations with their partners about going to their true reason why, and you know, I don't want to be that person that's boozing every night and eating pizza 3 nights a week and, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, don't run away from these conversations, because they're really, really powerful, and they can be really, really empowering as well. So yeah, and the next piece of the puzzle is, don't stop. Never ever stop when it comes to motivating yourself or trying to achieve new things, because once you get to a certain point, there's more out there for you. If you want more, you can have more. You can achieve your physical goals, and it's not about, you know, keep on losing weight until you're a size 6. Absolutely not. But you can always be healthier. You can always be fitter. You can always be stronger. You can always be more developed. You can look at different areas of your life for reaching new goals. And it's lifelong. You know, this is a lifelong practice, and it doesn't need to be sitting down every day writing a planning your goals and whatnot. But you know, the minute that you start taking the focus off where you want to be and what you want to achieve, you know, you'll find it easy just to go back to old ways. And that's why we have to keep doing things to keep the foundation being built and being built and being built, so that nothing comes in and starts chipping away at it. So use the tools, use your vision board, use your future self document, use your powerful why, use your gratitude, use your affirmations. These are all going to really help keep you going on and on and on and on, and staying motivated. And sometimes your goals just don't inspire you anymore. and that's fine. Get new goals. You know, the good thing is you get to absolutely create anything that you want. You get to do whatever the hell you want. So if your goals are, you know, Catherine, just because I'm seeing your name here, I'm going to use you as an example. But you know, you do your baking, you've got your business. Do you want your business to grow? Do you want to have your own shop? Do you want to have mail, like UK mail order? Why not? Be as big as you absolutely want. But if your goals are to create a lifestyle business where it means you can spend more time at home and horse ride and all the rest of the things, then that is also good as well. It's your goals. You don't have to be what anybody else says you have to be, but it's always your goals. But your goals, you can always build on your goals. You can always build on your goals. So, how was that? Did that help? Did that make sense? Did that give you some tips that you can use for when you are feeling a bit bleh? Let's get some questions or some comments in the chat, as I've got. Oh, I was actually quicker than I thought. I'm just going to scroll through the comments in case I have missed anything. Say does journaling or excuses, that's a good idea, yeah. It's a learning opportunity. Absolutely. Yes, Claire, if everything was perfect, we wouldn't progress. So, when I get that house, you can all come and move in. It's got something like 7 bedrooms. Mental. Vicky, see, for affirmations, find it difficult, steal them off the internet. You know, I have got... Right, wait till I don't know if I can... See this picture here? This one with the... I don't want to take it off because it took me forever to put it on. I'll see. Right, so... In fact, every picture here that I have is an affirmation. Everything you can imagine is possible. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage. Don't limit your challenges, challenge your limits. If not us, who? If not now, when? You're all kinds of awesome. Girls, grit and lipstick. That's Dolly. We love Dolly. But these are all affirmations. Just steal them off the internet. This picture here is actually a poster from the money coach, the lady that's been teaching me how to accept money and not feel like a greedy fuck. And it's all things like money comes in excess to me, I'm supported by money, I clear space for money, money comes, money flows, money supports, abundance is mine. These are all principles that you can apply to absolutely anything, so just steal them off the internet. Put them in your phone. You don't need to say them out loud, Vicky. I rarely say things out loud normally because Archie will be like, Mommy, what are you saying? What are you talking about? But having them, the focus, if depending on your phone, you can put them on your phone and you can set a timer for them to come up. So I have ones that come up every second day, different ones, and I just look there, oh, there it is. But you don't have to. You can write them down. You can just pick 3 that you want to write down today, and then 3 that you want to write down tomorrow, and 3 that you want to write down the next day. That's fine. Or you could create a big, massive list on an A4 bit of paper and have it pinned up next to your desk, and you can just, you know, in between when you're on a call that's really doing your head in, you can just sit and absorb. Because the more you see, the more you absorb. So give it a try. Right. Okie dokie. I'm trying to think if I've got any recommendations of books for you. Actually, the Atomic Habits is really good. It talks a lot about intrinsic motivation. Let me put in a wee cheeky thing that you can watch on YouTube. I'll find the clip. I don't know if I'll see most people. Right, I'm going to put a wee link in the comments, which is a wee YouTube clip of Tony Robbins, who is legendary. If you've got Audible, actually, you can find his... He does a 3-day event called Unleash the Power Within. I've done the online one, and it was It was batty. So you get up and you're dancing and all sorts. And he does it in, well, he used to do it in person. I don't know if he still does because of the pandemic. But I want to go in person because it's just crazy. But anyway, if you've got Audible, Unleash the Power Within, which is his 3-day thing, it's on Audible. And you cannot help but be motivated. You cannot help but go, right, this is how I'm going to live my life. And between him and Jim Rohn, who I love, you know, these are all go-to people. So if you are actually feeling a bit shit and blue, go and put on a motivational speaker. Tony Robbins, Gabby Bernstein, Jim Rohn. Can't think anymore at the moment. But yeah, there you go. Okay. I really enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you've got any feedback, please let me know. This is obviously going to be available in replay, and I'm going to get it downloaded and put on YouTube as well, not for public consumption, but just in case we ever lose it. It means that we've always got it again on YouTube. So yeah, thank you for joining if you caught me live, and if you got me in replay, thank you for joining also. But I hope you can take at least 2 or 3 tips from this and implement them right now, and it will help you. Alrighty, I will speak to you all later. Thanks, guys.